and I'm completely virtual. So I don't really like to say virtual because I feel like I'm in space. So I just say I do online parties, right? And my entire organization of about 250 people, because I'm only doing online parties and I'm meeting them online, they are also all virtual. So with the exception of a few people that dabble in cooking shows, our entire organization is pretty much doing everything on Facebook. So some of what you're going to hear tonight from me, guys, it will not be new. But here's what I have found is that sometimes hearing something you've heard before in a different voice can serve you in a way that it may not have before when you heard it from someone else. So there were times when I would be talking to a different person in the business and I would go back to Stacey Itzel, my upline, and say, Stacey, oh my gosh, I heard this, like it blew my mind. And she's like, you do know that I've said that to you like 40 times. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yep. And I'm like, okay. So hopefully you'll pull something out of this that will be beneficial for you and your business. So first, I just want to highlight that for me, running a successful virtual business comes down to two key things, okay? Authenticity and customer service. So Melody or your upline, whoever that may be, may share their outline with you. And I know most people have probably moved to groups at this point because of the whole third-party app use. And I implore you to edit the anecdotal language to be authentically you. I cannot stress this enough, okay? When I first started, and Now You Welcome team members, well, this is back when I was smaller, right? I would make the consultant edit the template I shared with them and share it back with me so I could confirm that it was not the same language as mine, okay? The anecdotal language should be authentically you. So I say things in my parties like, I love this bad boy, it never leaves my stovetop, or if the same person keeps winning all the games, oh my gosh, you're killing me with your guessing skills, Mary, work it. That's how I talk in real life. That's what you would get from me in an in-person party in front of me. And so that's what you need to do to infuse your party with that authenticity, okay? People will purchase Pampered Chef products in your online parties in spite of you, but they will book a party, join your team, or become a long-standing customer because of you. Okay, let me repeat that because it's really important. People will purchase in spite of you, but they will book with you, join your team, or become a long-standing customer because of you. Whenever I book a party with someone or welcome a new team member, and Melody and I were talking about this the other day, I'm very data-driven and I want to know why for all the things that happen with my business. If you aren't a data numbers person, I challenge you to go outside of your comfort zone and start being one, because doing the same things with your business and not understanding the ROI, return on investment, or what they're doing, what that's doing for you, how it's serving you, is the definition of insanity, okay? If you are constantly evaluating what you're doing, asking questions, bettering yourself, whatever that criticism may be, good or bad, that's only gonna propel you to a higher level towards whatever you wanna achieve with your business, okay? So when somebody books a party with me or they join my team or whatever, I ask them why. And most oftentimes they say they feel like they've gotten to know me over the past 7 days, and that's how long my parties are, and they didn't want it to end. Okay, and that's literally the best compliment you can get in your shows, and that's what I strive for in every show that I do. And that's how you can begin to build relationships with people. And that is even more important, I think, in your online parties than in in-home shows. But that's exactly what happens in those in-home shows, right? With guests and hosts in person. The second aspect is customer service. So when you purchase a $300 television on Amazon, all Amazon does is suggest more things for you to drop money on, right? There's no added value like that, which we can, there's no added value like that, which we as consultants can provide our customers. So I encourage you to come up with a system, and you're going to hear that word a lot from me tonight, because I used to be someone that was like, nope, I don't want to deal with the system. I want to do things my way. I want to fly by the seat of my pants. And I was literally burning the candle at both ends, and I was about to shut down. Okay, systems allow us to work smarter, not harder, and they also allow us to have more time to spend on the areas of our business that are weak. Okay, so come up with a system for providing excellent customer service. A couple examples. When you thank a guest for ordering, do you tell them you are sending them a message with a recipe and where to find it in their inbox? Do you suggest complimentary add-on inexpensive products that they might like and immediately have overlooked when they were shopping? These are just a few things that you can provide and offer to give great customer service, but the key really is coming up for systems to employ them. So a lot of what I'll talk about tonight, all the you take notes, great, but all the documents, all the verbiage, everything is going to be shared with Melody so she can share it with you. Sharing is caring. Nothing, but here's the thing, guys, and this is the reason why I'm always willing to share, right? Because that's the right thing to do. But also that I can give you any words or any systems or whatever that you want, but if you don't infuse yourself into them, you will not get the results that I get. I'm telling you right now, okay? So let's talk now. So those are the two most important things that should really guide how you run your business: customer service and authenticity, okay? So now let's talk about host coaching, booking parties, and recruiting. So Melody wanted me to cover all of this tonight, which I'm gonna make it happen. I know she's recording, so I talk fast. Sorry, anything you might miss, you can catch it on the replay and in the documents. So let's start with host coaching, right? So host coaching is imperative, and this is probably a no-brainer, but host coaching in online parties is equally, if not more important than in-home parties. Okay, for great sales, but also obtaining future bookings and being able to share the opportunity with enough people. All right, the guests, as the guests add, or the host adds guests to the group to be members. And I'll talk about specifically groups tonight, just because that's what I do and my whole team. But I have a whole document from back when I used to do events, although I'm sure many of you don't use them because you have to manually post. So successful host coaching helps to ensure your party experience for your guests is organized and purposeful, which in turn attracts guests to want to book with you and or sell our products as the consultant. The number one complaint in the surveys that Home Office gets about online parties is the experience is all over the map. It's not organized, it's not curated so that it makes sense to a person. Imagine this, if you walked into Target and everything was just all mixed up, shoes were with sandwiches, drinks were with kids' toys, you wouldn't know what to do. You wouldn't know where to look. You'd be totally overwhelmed and you would want to walk right out of that Target. It's the same thing with your online parties. If your guests, the guests don't feel that it's organized and curated, they are going to unfollow or leave the group. And we don't want that, right? So it's very important in terms of host coaching to set this up so that everything is organized. Being intentional and purposeful with your host coaching also helps to form a relationship with your host. And the goal really is to help them to understand why you are instructing them to do the things you are asking them to do. It's much more powerful when you say, do this. Oh, and by the way, in my experience with this business, what happens when you do this equals this. When you're educating them as to why you're asking them to personally message 20 to 25 people to remind them about clicking, joining a group. When you tell them the return on investment for them as the host with the benefits that they're going to get, they're much more likely to do what you tell them. Okay? And in essence, work for you. And by that, I mean actually engage with guests in the party and help you secure bookings from the party, which I'll talk about later. But as you know, you want at least 2 from every show, 1 to replace the current show and 1 to grow your business, right? So a few host coaching tips. Now I'm going to share, so I actually went live on the Paper Chef virtual party group page. I don't know if you saw that, but I went live in that group for at the request of Home Office with my whole system of host coaching, and the document was uploaded there too. However, I'm going to share all this with Melody, so I'm not going to go into detail about every single day and what I do, because you can read that. It's very self-explanatory, has all the verbiage to use to send to the host, etc. But a couple tips, okay? So shocker, have a system, which again, I'll share. You probably heard this hundreds of times, but it's true. Before I did Pampered Chef, I, again, was very anti-system. But now I can't survive without this. So, okay, so quick tip. This is really the first part of my host coaching that has been a game changer for me. So when you book a show, and this will be easier, when you book a show, tell the host you will be adding them to a few of your past parties, a very good one and one that bombed. And do this immediately once you book. Tell them which show was good and ask them to scroll and let you know why they think it went well. So they're having to go through it themselves and actually think and process as to, okay, I'm in Mary's show, Mary seems to have done XYZ, blah, 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 right? So you'll hear responses like, the host posted daily, the host tagged their guests in the daily game, the host tagged friends in different products that they thought they might like. Now ask them to scroll through the terrible show. Their responses will be the opposite of what they said for the good show. And then I asked my host, Janine, which host do you want to be, Janine? Do you want to be the host that got $300 in free product, 5 half-price items, and 25% off anything else, blah, 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 or 30% from your couch? Or do you want to be Sam over here who signed up to do this and didn't earn anything? So what you're doing there is you are basically setting the bar as a consultant for what the host needs to do to have a great show. And that's basically planting the seed. So every time they remember they have a Pampered Chef party, it's subliminally going to refresh them that, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, and I need to do this to make sure I have a great show. Because I signed up to get free stuff, and I saw what happened when people that didn't do what Steve told them to do, what they got out of it. Okay? Also, I encourage you to do the day of the party is supposed to start, and however you run your parties. I run mine Friday to Thursday, but it's up to you. You want to send either a video on Messenger to your host or you send a voice clip. Now, I am not a morning person, so you don't want to see this in the morning on a video. Okay, so I will send a voice clip and I call it my pump up message. So in the clip, I tell my host how excited I am that they're hosting with me and that we are in this together. And I remind them of some things they want to make sure they do, which are the things that they saw in that party back however long ago I booked them. And it usually will be probably, you want it to be at least, you're booking a month out, right? So it'll have been a month ago, so it's a great way to refresh them and remind them that you're a real person as well, and you guys are working together. This is a great way to basically establish a partnership with them from the beginning that you guys are gonna work together to make this rock, okay? So those are a few tips for host coaching. So now on to booking online parties, okay? So this may be outside of your comfort zone, but I encourage you to do it. So you wanna look for the rock star party guests in your online parties. These are people who are engaged and commenting on everything. They are sharing information about products they love, and they're commenting on guest comments. These are hot leads for future hosts and recruits. So I'm gonna share my screen and just show you an example of this really quick. I think I can share my screen even though I'm not. Can you see it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so if you see here, this is in Gina's party. This is a game, right? This is a game that they're playing for the day. And then at the bottom, I notice this person here, Jessica Claire Kimball, she has been commenting on everything. Okay, so what I sent here to her replied was, Jessica, check your message request folder in your inbox for a fun message from me. So I'm telling her where to find it because if you're not friends with them, it gets into that folder that nobody can see. Okay, so then I messaged her and I said, hi, Jessica, it's the Pampered Chef guy. She said, hi, Steven. I said, I just wanted to reach out to first say thank you for your order. I hope you're enjoying the party, smiley face. She said, you're welcome. The party has been great so far, very engaging. And I sent like a GIF of a piece of toast or something. Okay, then I said, I also want to say thank you for being what I like to call a rockstar party guest. You are commenting on everything and super engaged, which only spurs others to want to participate too. I had a question. I normally always message my rockstar party guests because they are usually people I would love to work with as a host of their own online Pampered Chef party. I'm sure you probably have tons more on your wish list, and I can help you earn that for free if you host your own party in December. 86% of people will be shopping online for gifts, and items would arrive before Christmas. Not to mention I do all the work. I would love to facilitate a party with you. So then she said, I'm leaning towards yes, but let me think on it for a few hours. And as we know, the think on it is just not what we want to deal with. So that's what I said. Did I mention Gina will also get any one item or set free off her wish list for you booking? It's literally a win-win for all, smiley face. She said, okay, sign me up. It doesn't take much to twist my arm. She meant to say arm. I'm a big supporter of small businesses. And I said, wahoo, I have a December 5th start date. I'll need your information, and yay. Okay. The point I'm making here with this is that would she have booked with me if I hadn't reached out to her personally? She might have, but you never know what might work to grow your calendar if you don't try it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna share again in a little bit, but let me just go through this list. Okay, so Okay, so this is really the meat and potatoes of how I book shows. So I have 42 shows in November, 42 online parties. I know your mind's like, and I'm not saying that to brag. I'm telling you right now, this one I'm going to go over. This is how I have that many shows. Okay. So I came up with something called the Host Booking Challenge. I don't know if you've heard it, but that's not a great name, but that's what it is. Okay. So challenges can be scary for some and exciting for others. But either way, people are flattered when someone believes in them enough to present a challenge. So eventually you want to get to a point where you are having your host book for you. Now, do I have those posts in my parties that are like, blah, 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 60% off, that's all good. That's all great. And sometimes that works, right? But what I found is that the personal connection that exists when you have a host reach out to a potential person to book a party, there's much more buy-in on the part of that person because they are in some way, they have a relationship with the host, whether they were in a play with them in high school 10 years ago, whether they live next door, it doesn't matter, okay? So I reach out to my host and with the following language. I say, I have a challenge for you. I hope you will accept. I always challenge my host to help me get bookings, and if you can help me get 3, I will add a free gift to your order when you place it in your party, and you will get a half-price item at all of their parties when they qualify. So here's the thing. I don't tell them that Pampered Chef pays for that. So what they think is, wow, Steve is super generous. If I just help him get some shows on his calendar, he's going to pay for any one item or set, or half of any one item or set at all of those parties, because they're so focused in the moment on what they're getting as a host, they're not even thinking about the future party pick that's on the catalog. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is what we do. What we want to do, we want to use what Pampered Chef gives us to our advantage, right? So working smarter, not harder. So then in that message, I say, basically, I send you the language and you message people you think would do it and be great hosts like you and might want to earn free product. You do a group message with me, with each of them, me, you, and them. You send the message and then I take it from there. Pick 5 people you think would be great hosts. That way we will likely secure 3. And then I recommend 5 people from the party that I think would be good hosts, and they're from all across the United States. Because I want to have a different pool of people to get from all of those parties to continue to grow my business. Okay? And this may not be your cup of tea, but I do a little Facebook stalking to look and see if I can see what some of their professions are, because chances are they're going to have a more of a robust group of friends that maybe the party will be better, X, Y, Z. So you want to be intuitive, right? Yes, we want parties, but we want parties that are going to be great for our schedule and our calendar, right? While giving the great party experience and the products that we know are high quality, okay? So if they say yes, and I've only had 4 people in the history of my business, 2 years and 4 months, 4 people ever say no to this, okay? Hi, I just wanted to send you a quick message and say thanks. So I give them this language to send. Hi, I just wanted to send you a quick message and say thanks so much for going to my online Pampered Chef party. I really wanted to host a party online because I love their products. I wanted to get some for free, but I didn't want to clean my house or vacuum. Doing one online has been super easy. It was a win-win. The consultant I'm working with, Steve, has made it really seamless and he's great with his customers. I thought you would be perfect to host an online party yourself if you wanted to earn some free goodies too. Okay, so again, that's 5 separate group messages, not one big message, because then it's a kiss of death and everybody feels like a transaction, right? So just think about this. So say that you have 5 hosts running online parties one week, and you message all of them about this challenge. One host secures you 4 bookings, 1, 2, and 1, 1. That's 7 bookings, right? So in a perfect world, you want to book 2 parties from every show you do. I said this before. It doesn't always happen, but when I compared 3 different waves of 5 online parties, the average number of bookings I secure is 6, and that's a 60% success rate, and my host did all the work, right? So why not try it? Now, you're not always going to have the hosts that agree to do it, but you might have a host that loves the idea of a challenge. I mean, I've had hosts that give me 8, 9, 10 bookings before. It just really depends on the host and if they're willing to do it for you. But they're going to be more likely to do it when you have that partnership at the beginning of the host coaching where they feel that your main goal is to help them earn a lot of free stuff. Okay? So once the host sends the message individually to all 5 of them, and you can see that they saw the message, that's when you go in for the kill with the following. Hi there, it's just like a green dot message. I'm sure you guys have heard this green dotting before. Host name told me you'd be great to host an online party. It's super easy. You just need to invite Facebook friends or add Facebook friends to a group I create and post once a day. Post I send you, literally 5 to 6 seconds of your time copying and pasting a day. You'll make out like a bandit. Most hosts earn over $100 in free product and 3 half-price items and never leave home. I have this date and this date to start. What do you think, smiley face? So what that says is you got to do very little. You're going to get a lot. Here's when you start. Why not? It makes it very manageable and easy to agree to say yes. And the fact that the host sent it and they have a relationship, that's a one-up. Okay, so here's a great the party's happening. Here's a great tip to bump up the sales in your online parties. I have a bad name for it. It's called shame tagging, and I need to change it because it's just a bad name. But it's basically it's tagging. So I post 16 times a day in my online parties. 4 in the morning at 8 o'clock. 4 at noon, 4 at 5 o'clock when people are leaving work, and 4 at 9 o'clock because I want them to be thinking about me as they go when they're sleeping, which is creepy, but not at all. Okay, so I make sure I tell the guests at least twice, once on the first day towards the end, and once on the second day, that I'm going to be posting a lot and why I am posting as much as I'm posting, and I also show them how to unfollow the posts if they think it will annoy them. Because, you know, some people who are old school, they still get emails when they have a notification on Facebook. And if they're getting 16 a day, usually, well, I'm not going to generalize, but they can get a little irritated. So I like to be above board and honest about why I'm doing what I'm doing, show them how to unfollow. And then this whole idea of tagging that I do basically gets them back in the loop towards the end of the party when I want them to order. Okay, so this is, I can share this too, I guess. Hold on. So let me scroll down here. So here's an example of this. Okay, so you want to open Consultants Corner and you want to cross-reference for a specific party, the number or the people that have ordered in their party and every single person that has commented on anything but not ordered. Because if they can comment and play a game, and they can basically talk, that they can be reminded that they can support their friend and place an order. Okay, so I run about 8 to 10 parties a week, and just from doing this, I see normally about $450 to $500 come in after the period I do this tagging, which I do this the second to last day of the party. Most people are not annoyed by it. They are thankful for the reminder because they've been busy or they unfollowed. And again, if you don't try it, you're never going to know the return on investment. So here's an example. Brandy and Nick Malcolm commented on one of my Family Feud games, and I said, Brandy and Rick Malcolm, just 2 days left to order to support Sarah. Party ends at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Here's the link. And I go through all my parties and do this. Individual comments. Now, you don't want to go too fast because, you know, Facebook doesn't like that and they'll block you from doing it. So I usually will do a couple parties, then I'll do something else related to my business, and I'll come back and do another 2 parties, then I'll go do something else, and I'll come back and do another 2 parties. Okay? Okay, another quick tip. So I survey my guests on their party experience via, and you can do it however you want. I do a group message, but you can use a Google survey because, again, guys, the data you collect will tell you amazing things, okay? So back when I was, I think, 3 months into the business, I was seeing all these people post about having $1,000 shows, and I was like, well, I think I'm doing everything right. I think I'm providing a great experience. I think I'm showcasing things in a way that make people want to spend. But, you know, then I was like, maybe I'm not. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm not doing things perfectly or the way that I think I am, right? So that's when I decided that I wanted to solicit feedback from my customers, good or bad, so that I could learn how to better my overall experience for my customers. Okay, so you want to pick, and if you want to do a group, a Google form, you can, but I find it's more personal to do the group message. But you pick 5 of the most engaged guests from your online parties. Usually I pick those who have interacted the most, they've ordered, $75 or more. That means they love the product, or if they've already booked a party with me, I'll include them in there as well. And I run like a focus group. This is kind of like an audit of your party. It's like a post-mortem after a play. What was great about the set? What was not as great that we could have done better? What were the costumes great, or did we need to step it up? Blah, 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 right? It's evaluating what worked, what didn't. And the kind of questions I ask are, what did you like most about the party? Recipes, games, whatever. What was annoying about the party? What would you like to have learned about that you didn't? Would you recommend hosting a party to a friend? Do you feel like you learned enough about the business opportunity? And compare this party to other direct sales online parties you've attended or hosted. So how does this work? Towards the end of the party, I reach out to the 5 I want to be involved via Facebook message. Future hosts I would have already friended, but as far as others, I friend them. Then I can send them a group Facebook message to get the dialogue going, and I tell them that if they participate, they'll be entered to win a free gift on me. If that's an impetus to give me feedback, and it doesn't matter what you give them, they lose their minds. Corn butter, dual-sided cleaning brush, whatever it is, okay? How has this helped? So 2 years ago, after trying this and implementing this, immediately in my next wave of parties, I had my first $1,000 show. The additional feedback that I got from my hosts from the focus group were that they did not want expensive items showcased. This is a big, probably in Pampered Chef land, this is kind of a no-no, the whole power tool day, okay? But in actuality, what a lot of them said was that they can't justify spending $240 on one thing in an online party to husband, partner, whatever, but they can justify spending $75 to $100 and getting 10 things. So I completely got rid of Power Tool Day, and I've never added it in since. Okay? So also they basically also asked a lot about replacement parts. Some of them said, they wanted what they already had that was old to feel new again. They didn't necessarily want to get a teal, whatever they are now, whatever one of the first teal things came out with. They don't want the fancy colors and the sheen and all. They like what they have, and they want to have the food chopper the way it is, the one they've had for 20 years. They just want the plastic casing replaced. So they were like, Steve, you should showcase the fact that people can buy replacement parts. That was not even on my radar. And now every week, from what I sell every week in my parties, I sell about $200 in replacement parts across, 8 to 10 parties. But if I hadn't put that out there, that's an option, people would not be buying them. So my sales might be $200 less. Okay. Also back then, when I first started, obviously, I wasn't doing the idea of themed days. So my hosts were like, it would be great if you could do one day that was all about baking, one day that was all about new products, one day that was all about gadgets, one day that was stoneware focused. So to this day, that's exactly how I do it. The first 2 days of my party, 7-day parties, are pre-party day, all engagement posts, no product showcasing, because I want to get them engaged and invested before I start pushing products. Then Sunday is gadget day, Monday is what's new, Tuesday is baking day, Wednesday is stoneware day, and the last day is my favorite things. So the way the party works is you hook them on the experience from the beginning, you show them the meat and potatoes in the products, and then you end by reminding them that you're a human and you use the products every day in your kitchen, and here's which ones that you love. So it's a complete experience where then they want that relationship with me to continue and not end, which I mentioned before. Okay? So the next thing I'm going to talk about is recruiting, and then we'll have 10 or so minutes for questions. So obviously you know this, but your host is your #1 recruit. Repetition is key. You want to mention the business opportunity at least 3 times directly and 2 times indirectly. Okay? Make it a point to mention, obviously, the kit credit option and the benefits of being on your team. So when they book, I will say, I'm so excited you want to host a show with me. I have X date and X date to start. Which would you like? Oh, and I encourage you to watch what I do. Or should I say how little I do in running your party in case you decide you may want to sign up and join my team as an online consultant when your party closes. My entire team does all online parties, so it has to be easy, right? I also remind them midway through the party. I say, wow, you already have party sales of XX and I have earned XX as a consultant. This is pretty average for my, sorry, you already have party sales of whatever and have earned blank. Pretty average for my shows. Do you know that as a consultant on my team, you would make X amount off of a show like that, and you will have never left your house? Think about smiley face. And I will show them a picture. Now, if the sales aren't where you want them to be at that point, which we know sometimes they're at the end, I will send a picture of my commission check from my first month in the business and a picture of my commission check from the most recent month, so they can see what a real consultant might make. And then if you decide to really go big and grow, then you can get to where I am at XYZ paycheck. And here's the thing, don't be afraid to share your paychecks. Doesn't matter if it's a $200 paycheck or a $1,000 paycheck, because that's $200 or $1,000 more than somebody has at that moment when they're looking at you. Okay? And then when they're about to close the show, I will say, don't forget about the kit credit while you're shopping. I know you probably didn't think that you would be shopping for your own business by the end of this, but as you saw, it's super easy. Give it a shot. If it doesn't work for you, you get to keep all the Pampered Chef kit goodies. I like to say people are just dating me for 30 days. They're not marrying me. So you're not stuck with me if you find that this isn't for you. Smiley face. Now you can change it, obviously, because you might not want to say that to a woman, but whatever you want. Okay. Then so that's the way I recruit my hosts. And then for guests in the party, I do have the posts in the in my template about the fact that you can comment on here with a question for 10 tickets to the prize, blah blah whatever. And when somebody comments on it, I will respond, thank them for their comment. I will answer their question so that everybody else can see the answer. And then I will tell them, Melody, check your message request folder for a fun message from me, smiley face. It'll be hiding there. Every single person that comments on the business post is getting a message from me. Because oftentimes I find that while they do just want the tickets, they are totally open to hearing what I have to say about this company. And in many cases, I will flip them so that they decide that they don't want just tickets, that they want to join my team. Once we talk and they see how easy it is to do what I do. Now, this recruiting conversation is really a dance, as many of you know. So 85% of the discussion, the messaging should be on the part of the lead, not you. I had a big problem when I started. As you can probably tell, it was very easy for me to word vomit about how amazing Pampered Chef is. And I was on a three-way chat with Stacey Itz on my upline, and she messaged me privately, and she's like, hold up, you are way too intense. You're scaring this person. You're sharing way too much information. So it's a really fine line between what you want to share and what you want to, and maybe what you want to not share, and maybe wait for the first training call. And sometimes the simple question you can ask them is, did you have any major questions, or are you just ready to get started? Because they may just be ready to get started. And if you allow them to ask you more questions, you might scare them into thinking that they're not ready. Okay? And the whole idea of the discussion with them, like I said, is a dance in that you want to be asking lots of open-ended questions so that you are allowing them to talk themselves into why this is a great opportunity that can fit into their life. Everything we do with this business, booking, selling, recruiting, growing a team, etc., it should all come from a place of giving and not a place of taking. Do we all want 2 recruits a month? Do we all want to have at least 8 to 10 shows in our calendar? Of course we do. But again, we are in the relationship business. And if you are leading from a place of taking, people can smell that a mile away and they're going to want nothing to do with you. So when I'm in a conversation with somebody, I would message them and say, hey, Melody, it's a Pampered Chef guy, smiley face. Thanks so much for participating in that post in the party. And then, not every person's going to respond, right? And that's why you want to message everyone. And then say that she doesn't respond. She's like, hi, no problem. This is a fun party. And I'm like, what are you enjoying most about it? Then she might say, oh, I like the games. It's always fun to see who wins, each day. And I was like, yeah, I love to give away prizes in my parties. I find that it really gets everybody excited and really invested in wanting to play each day. Then I would say, so how do you know Melody? Sorry, not Melody, whoever the host is. How do you know the host? And they might say, oh, well, we went to school together, or I used to work with her. I'm like, oh, that's great. So what do you do? What's your profession? then they would say, oh, well, I work, I have this really demanding job. I work like 50 hours a week for the Department of State. It's like, I feel like I never have a moment to breathe. Okay, so what that does for me then is that tells me that this person has a very demanding job. They probably get paid well, and so they probably don't need the money that this opportunity can provide. They probably would best be served by this opportunity as an outlet for making friends and doing something outside of their crazy busy job, having a network of people that they can be supported by, the fun of partying after being stressed all day at work. So that takes my mind a totally different place when I then respond to them, and I might say, oh, wow, that sounds like you have a really crazy, hectic job. I totally understand. I used to work full time. It was always like just one thing after the next. The great thing about what we do as consultants on my team is that we become friends. We support each other. I know some of my team members' kids. I send them gifts to their birthday. It's just a really cool network of people that you have outside of that crazy busy lifestyle. Does that sound like something that you could be interested in? Whereas if somebody says to me, oh, I'm a teacher, and I teach biology. My sister's a teacher, and I know she doesn't make anything. She doesn't make what she should make money-wise. So to me, the money is probably going to be the factor that I'm going to lead with about the earning potential with Pampered Chef, about how you can use a posting system. So while you're working all day, everything will be scheduled for you, and you'll make money while you're teaching. I might share that my average consultants are making about $400 a month. What would you do with $400 a month? Okay. Whereas if it's a stay-at-home mom, they might say to me, oh, well, I used to work, but I don't anymore. We have 4 kids. I homeschool them. It's hard because I can't contribute like I used to, but we just, we can't manage it. We have to do it this way. And then I would say, well, this is a really flexible way of being able to contribute to the household income like you once did. I have X amount of stay-at-home moms on my team that, it has to be easy for them and flexible for them to do this with their other responsibilities at home, or they wouldn't be able to do it. They wouldn't be making the money they're making. Does that sound interesting to you? So you see what I'm saying? I'm tailoring every response that I'm giving to a person based on the information they're supplying me. And I'm always asking them, it's always ending with a question that can lead to another part of a conversation versus a cutoff where everything stops and we don't move forward. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's all I have, pretty much. I love to answer questions if you guys have questions.
Yes. Time for questions. Yes. A big round of applause.
And again, I will share all of I have a 7-day groups 101 document that's like basically the Pampered Chef Bible for my whole team. It has all of the verbiage, it has all of the host coaching, it has all of the booking stuff I talked about, it has all the recruiting stuff, it has and then I also have an Overcoming Objections 101 document I'll share with Melody that basically, when someone says, oh, I don't have enough friends to do a party, or I'm not, or if they don't want to sell because I'm not salesy, I've come up with responses to all of those things for my team members, so I'll share that as well. And I also have, so for onboarding new recruits, I don't know if you guys may already have something, but we have a system for onboarding new consultants. So I'm happy to share that too.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, did you see Tony Patterson's comment there, Steve?
Can we join one of your parties? Yes. As long as you don't comment on anything. Because then you have the host who's like, I don't know who that is. Why are they at my party?
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. So yes, what would be ideal is if Melody would, so whoever wants to be added, Melody would like send me a message with a list of people so that when I get because I can't add you unless we're friends, and if I get a bunch of random friend requests, I'm not gonna know who's who. So if she sends me a list, and that way I can actually know that you're on her team, then I'm happy to do it.
Or Steve, what I can do is, let's roll back feedback. If you add me, then I can, so you don't have to do all that work. Would that be okay?
Yes, that's a better idea. Yes.
As long as they know that they're not supposed to They're just supposed to be fly on the walls.
Yep, that's fine.
Awesome. Okay, what questions do you guys have about any of the systems? Now's your time to ask.
I have a question.
Kayla has a question. Kayla, you want to come over here so we can see you?
Do I have to be a question?
Sure. Yeah.
Hi, Steve. My question is, I know that you're talking about your outline and how long you do it, but how often do you change your template? Do you use the same posts every month, or do you switch it up? How often do you do that?
So I book 2 months out. So I want to make sure that, because here's the thing, the past hosts and any like past guests that will be in that future party, because they're all mutual friends, like they will go and look at the game answers if you have the same games because they want to win and stuff. So every 2 months, I will change it every 2 months, and I will update, so I have my theme days, right? But I will always pull my report of my best-selling products so that I make sure that if I'm selling a lot of, I don't know, the new microwave cooker set or whatever, I'm going to make, not that it's already in my thing, but I'm giving an example. If there's something that's coming up that I'm not showing, I want to make, obviously it's selling on its own, and I want to make sure I'm featuring that, so I add that in as well. But like with the holidays, it's a lot of, like, here's your turkey name, and so it's like I change it every 2 months, pretty much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else have a question? You can just shout it out. You don't have to give it if you want to.
Yeah.
Anyone else have anything? That's all good for now. I think once they probably see your system and stuff written out too, it may help with the questions and stuff that they have.
Okay.
Question. Have you noticed this week a difference in participation on your parties? I've got 8 going right now, and it just seems lower compared to past weeks on participation, and people are having trouble adding people, and so I'm sending them group links so that they message them, the link to get to it. But one host, she's working with me, we're kind of testing things out today. She's not getting any notifications whatsoever. I've tried making her a moderator or an admin. I removed her and then sent her the link so she could click join, and we're going to see if that works. But
yeah, so I know some people are having problems adding hosts, even just hosts, and I haven't had that problem yet, but I will tell you that Facebook right now is the opposite of what it was. Before, it was like open field and people had to be in charge of policing what they got, added to or saw. And now with the whole Facebook and Russia and all that stuff, whatever went down, now they are on the opposite end. So now it's like everything is restricted and the people have to unpolice themselves. So in terms of what you said about the notifications, I tested that too, and nobody was getting them. So and you'll see this in the host coaching, one thing that I do is that I, as a part of the post that they do on their wall, I include language that says, Facebook's always changing. You may not have gotten a notification based on your settings or the way Facebook is behaving lately. Here's where you go to find the group to click join. And it's, go to explore, go to groups, scroll down to the bottom, you'll see my party there, click OK, click join, etc. So as I go above, I try to cover it, I try to hit every possible way. I have the host personally message 20 to 25 people that they know would be, personally that they know that would be a part of the party. But then we also, with the link, cast a wider net by doing it on their Facebook wall that has a link that says, Facebook's being weird, click into this if you, and again, I study my numbers for all of those things. So so the members in a group for a host before, when they post that, I will study how the numbers go up, if they go up, because then I might say to the host, oh my gosh, just by doing what I told you, your numbers have gone up from 23 to 34 members. Would you be willing to post this again at night? Because different people log into Facebook at night and will likely see your post and click to be added to the group. So you'll see in the host coaching document, and you can always ask me questions if you don't see what you're looking for, but I tried, what you're trying to do is cover your bases to try to get as many people. there are nuggets in the system that try to achieve that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Tamara Rowland just said the same thing. I had one party that said they couldn't join from their phone, but they could from their computer. So
Yeah, so the only thing that I do like to do manual posting like in between my template, just because I'm just crazy like that. I like to be totally invested and engaged, but I don't like to do anything logistical on my phone. It's not compatible. It's not friendly. Things don't work as easy. I always encourage my team members to use a computer or an iPad to do anything logistical. For some reason, there's always glitches with trying to do it on the app or on a internet browser on your phone, like logging on to facebook.com. There's always problems with a phone. So I always encourage, and I personally do everything logistical, setting up parties, adding the host, having them add the get. I always say, do it on a computer. And, it's a little old school, right? But, we're the authority on how to run our parties. So if I tell them to do it on a computer, what am I doing? I'm telling them why, because there are glitches sometimes when you do it on a phone. So let's start with the best foot forward and do it on a computer to get the results we want.
that's great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else?
Anyone else have anything? No. Well, thank you so very much, Steve. We really, really, really appreciate it.
I hope it was helpful.
Kayla,
I broke it.
Kayla's unplugging the TV, Steve.
I know.
Can you see
Okay.
it?
Wait, what?
Can
Well,
you
I was
see us?
done with him. You didn't know that?
What happened?
I just
Can you
picked,
see
all
me,
I did was
Steve?
pick it up.
Wait, are we finished?
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I broke it. I'm sorry.
Kayla's trying to break everything. So you stopped connection for just a second. So
Oh, no, sorry. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful, guys.
absolutely.
All right, have a good night, guys.
Thank you, Steve.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Those of you that are online, okay, I'm going to actually stop recording for this part here so that we stop this Steve portion because that was really good training. So if we want to go back to that, I want to be able to do that. So I'm going to stop recording.